In this XRP live stream, I reveal why the XRP price dropping below support is actually a trap for retail sellers. We're going to break down everything that happened, explain why it happened, and I'm going to tell you exactly where I plan on buying at the next key support level. We're going to cover everything that's been going on. We got news about the government shutdown. That's not happening with a last minute push through from the Democrats, shockingly. Hearing rumors of Trump and family suing the IRS. There is a bunch of political drama and geopolitical issues going on, but none of that is what caused this price drop. So let's hop into the price because that is what we are here for today. Usually I do not cover price in full detail, but we did lose a key support. And because we lost a key support, we need to pay attention to what's happening and identify new opportunities. Again, this channel is about the long view. We're about what the price is going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Not so much what it's about today, tomorrow, or next week. But as investors, we are always looking for excellent buying opportunities. And none of this is financial advice, mind you. Let me hop into this real quick. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just revealing to you what I do in my life as I'm trying to grow my assets and improve my situation. I am working to become a financial advisor. I'm working on taking the Series 65. So when that does happen, I'll let you know. But for the meantime, not financial advice. Do your own research. I will be the first person to tell you to do your own research, even when I do become a financial advisor. You need to be aware of what you're doing with your money. It's important. I see you guys signing off in the chat. I appreciate that. Keep it rolling. This is going to be a hot one today. I'm in a good mood. I just got all my stress off my plate and I'm ready. I'm ready to do some buying. It's time for shopping spree. So let's talk about it. Let's look at price. We did fall below our key support of 175. I've been calling that out now for a very long time. This opens up possible price discovery getting into, we just bounced off 170. So here's what we're looking at right now. So we just bounced off 170 and we had previously fallen to 170 in this drop before. Then we were trying to push back. This is what scares me, okay? You see this massive amount of volume when we tried to break back through 178, right? So this is now turned into resistance. If this bounce does not push up beyond 185, it's just a bounce, right? It's not bullish unless it pushes past 185. So we have to watch closely what's going to happen here over the next few hours as far as structure goes, right? And this is, again, just basic technical analysis. But the next key support, if we fall below 170, is going to be 165 to 166. Right, the last previous manipulation. Well, hopefully the stream is not causing a problem. It says it's reconnecting, so it's reconnecting now. So if the stream's glitching out, I'm sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. But we scream manipulation, right? We scream manipulation, manipulation. What is going on? Well, that's not the right article. This is the right article. This is from Yahoo Finance. A flurry of macroeconomic and geopolitical developments triggered a broad-based sell-off across global financial markets on Thursday, sending Bitcoin to its lowest level in 9 months. Bitcoin shed 7.4% over 24 hours, hitting low of $82,134 before a slight Friday morning recovery, according to the price aggregator CoinGecko. Now, there were liquidations. They're talking about liquidations and geopolitical. Okay. Binance sold, BlackRock sold, Coinbase sold, JP Morgan sold. Like, massive players just dumped a crap ton of Bitcoin all at the same time. That is coordinated. Obviously, that's a level of market manipulation. But again, there's no more manipulation than what happens in other areas of the stock market. You think what's happening with gold and silver right now isn't some kind of manipulation? Silver's on an 80% run in a month. I don't think that's ever happened in history, right? What's happening right now in the markets, there's manipulation going on, don't get me wrong, and because crypto has such a small market cap, the volatility is ridiculous, okay? But when you're talking about 80% swings in silver, okay, the entire market is volatile right now because there is a ton of geopolitical risk. Now, what does this mean for us as crypto investors? Well, we're here for the long view. So when there's blood in the streets, buy the deep. I mean, really, that's how I look at it. Fundamentally, nothing's changed for XRP. Fundamentally, nothing's changed for Canton Network. Fundamentally, nothing's changed for Ondo. These cases are only getting stronger, right? Chainlink and HBAR as well are 5 key pillars of infrastructure moving forward. So, speaking of which, and it's not just XRP right now, it is the entire crypto market, except for Canton Network, which we love and enjoy. And Canton Network does not seem to follow Bitcoin. It marches to the beat of its own drum, which I love as well. So honestly, I'm thinking I might be 50-50 for my top 2 on XRP and Canton when I re-enter with Force. I plan on making a large Canton Network purchase as well, as Ondo and HBAR and Chainlink. I'm going to invest in all my 5 pillars, and I'll be happy to show you guys that once I am done with that, but I have to dollar cost average in over time. I follow my own rules. I'm not just going to go dump everything all at once. That's not responsible investing, even though I have the urge to. I would love to just go out and drop, 20 grand here, 20 grand here. It feels good when you're doing that until the number goes down. That's why you have to be smart. You have to break out your emotions from it and build up over time. So, another key factor that we follow here every single day just about is account set and payment activity. If you saw the community post I did last night, we are starting to see spikage in payments, right? We follow account set activity because there's been this large spike in account set activity over the last 3 months, more than the entire history of the ledger combined by probably tenfold and then some, it looks like. So these are accounts coming on Ledger, and we're waiting to see this translate into payments activity. So at the same time price is falling, payment utility is ramping up, and we have been looking for this hitting 1.6 million. Again, we want to see it climb over 2 million and maintain that, and of course continue to climb. But as we see payment activity increase, we will see price increase. You can look at it back here in 2024 when we had the most amount of payment activity on the ledger. This is when XRP's price had that massive run up to 330, I think, from what was it, like close to 50 cents or something like that. So this is where that happened, was due to payment activity. When they start doing a lot of the pilots and stuff like that, it creates demand for XRP, right? And it does create FOMO for XRP when people see that the ledger is actually being utilized. Now, moving on, Trump names. Now, we're going to talk about Trump some more, but we do have to talk about the government. Trump names crypto-friendly Kevin Warsh as a pick for the Fed chair. So Kevin Warsh is semi-crypto-friendly, and honestly, he's kind of hawkish for someone, but he is also, let's hear what they say. I remember him. I honestly didn't expect him to go at Warsh because he's kind of more of a hawkish person. But President Trump announced Kevin Warsh as his pick for Fed Chair Reserve. This will go into effect in May, following a sharp surge in prediction market odds overnight. Warsh, a former Fed governor with relatively crypto-friendly views, is widely regarded for a monetary policy hawk. President Donald Trump announced that Kevin Warsh, I hate when they repeat themselves 10 times. Confirming speculation that intensified overnight as prediction markets sharply shifted in his favor, says he's pleased to announce that nominating Kevin Warsh to be the chairman of the board of governors of the Federal Reserve System. Trump wrote a post on Truth Social highlighting his prior service as a Federal Reserve governor, his current role as a Hoover Institution fellow and Standard Graduate School of Business lecturer, and his work at blah, 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 blah. Why do we care? We don't care about all this crap. What do we care about? So his Bitcoin and crypto views are okay. It doesn't bother him. What else did he say? The thing was his issue with quantitative easing. So he's been firmly against quantitative easing and pumping liquidity into the markets because he believes the only people who benefit from that are the large banks and the people at the top. He doesn't think it helps the regular people, which he's right. It sucks for the people who are in the middle, kind of like us, who are trying to get to that next leg of it. But the thought is that he wants less Fed oversight. Warsh wants less Fed oversight. What have we said that Trump is trying to do? He's trying to get rid of the Fed. So I don't know. It's kind of lining up with what, Chicken Little things we've been talking about as far as coordinations happening behind the scenes of them wanting to get rid of the Fed. Yesterday we were talking about the SEC and the CFTC finally being on the same page together and pushing forward crypto regulation before the Clarity Act, and they'll adapt once the Clarity Act's written into law. Excuse me. This is all very bullish, good news. And prices going down, right? So this is why I'm confident, me personally, not financial advice, but this is why I'm confident in now being a good time to buy some more. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'll happily show you guys when I do that. But this is a coordinated dump from the big players. We were talking about this with Bitcoin getting down to 82,000 and the rest of the market following. And unfortunately, at that same time, XRP broke key structural support. Now, these are things we look at for entry points, right? The long view is about what the price is going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And I see a lot of you signing off in the chat. Don't worry, I'm going to get into the chat for our live discussion like we do every single day. And if you're new to the stream, please hit the like button, hang out with us. We're here for the long view. We cover the news every single day, Monday through Saturday at noon. I apologize, I was a little late today. I was actually closing on my house and rushed right downstairs. They came out to my house to close on the real estate deal, and I was finishing that up, so that's why I was a little late today. But as soon as that money gets deposited in my account, it's time to go shopping. So let's hop into the chat for a little bit, and then we can cover some more stuff here. But let's keep it rolling. Let's keep the energy up. There's only 22 of us in here on a Friday. I thought there would be more people, but a lot of people are really in pain right now with, the market is just not good, man. It sucks right now. It does not feel good. So let's talk about what's going on. Let me pull this up here so we can talk to the chat and see what's going on here. Is this working? No, it's not working. You stinker. Let me fix this real quick for us. Copy. Browser. Paste. And save. It sucks that I have to do this every single time. There it goes. So Crypto Roger says Trump and family are suing the IRS. Are you really shocked? I mean, he is just in everything. If so, that would be the beginning of the IRS, in my opinion. Well, if he can get away with suing him, then other people are surely it'll start a cascade effect. If he can get away with suing him, then other people will sue him, and then, yeah, it just becomes nasty. The government has to back the IRS, and the fact that he's suing the IRS as the president is freaking hilarious to me. The guy is a clown, okay? I want good crypto policies, but the way he goes about things, he's misdirection, and the dude's a clown, dude. Raul says, good afternoon. We hope the IRS will go away. Well, no one likes the IRS except for the super duper broke people, because the IRS gets them the money. We're going to have to take care of some people along the way. There's a difference between socialism and moral integrity, right? And I feel like we have a duty as humans to have some of these things in place to help take care of our fellow man. Now, when it's exploited, that's when I have a large issue. I don't think that someone should be working a job making $50,000 a year, struggling every single day, barely have any food in their fridge or anything like that, and someone else is not working, not doing anything, maybe came into the country illegally, maybe not trying to get any buzzwords or anything, but whatever the situation, if they're just sitting there on their butt and they're better off with government aid than someone who's working their tail off, it's just not right. right? That morally is not right. There's a disconnect. There's a problem that needs to be fixed. And I know there's multiple angles to it, but that's my feelings on it. With all fraud, abuse of taxpayer dollars for healthcare, that could be the second nail in the IRS coffin. I heard 80K people aren't going to pay taxes this year. I know I'm not paying taxes this year. I mean, I'm getting money back in my taxes this year. I don't have to pay. Raul says, let's get this show going today. Oh, that was all you guys talking before the show even started. Oh my goodness. Referring to Somali fraud and other stuff stealing taxpayer dollars. Okay. The Obamacare needs to go as well. If we're going to have a public health system, it needs to work. Okay. Honestly, our country does have a version of a public health system. If you are a disabled vet, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has its pros and cons. Don't get me wrong. The pro for me and the pro for a lot of disabled vets is I don't have to pay for it. However, it does take 3, 4, 5 months to get seen for an appointment sometimes, depending on the situation. Public healthcare has its drawbacks as well. And that's not even fully public healthcare. That's just veterans. If you were to put fully public healthcare in a situation like that, that's why they talk about lines being out the door to ERs in Canada and stuff like that. My opinion, just do away with the IRS and those problems solve themselves. Well, if we do away with the IRS, there's going to be fraud galore from some of the major companies. And again, you have to read the rule book. If they do away with the IRS, then the people who are going to not take advantage are the people who can't afford or the people who don't have the knowledge of those things. Really. If they get rid of the IRS and there's just no taxes whatsoever on anything, the money's going to funnel to the rich. It's just how it's going to go because rich people make rich people decisions and poor people make poor people decisions. It's just how it goes. All right. Wow, you guys did awesome in the chat. I'm catching up here. Raul's in the house today saying that I'm getting my XRP. I gotta wait for them to give me the money first. I would get the XRP right now, but I gotta wait for them to get the money first. Takes a couple days for a transfer that size to go through. Also, I heard Bill and Hillary are living separate lives because at any point either can be indicted. Adrenochrome junkies are there. It's just the political show that's happening in front of us right now. It's what it is. It's a show. It's entertainment. I see people going crazy about it and this or that reason or this and that reason, complaining about Trump and this and that. I just laugh. I'm like, you guys realize this is just really all a show. The truth is happening behind the scenes somewhere. We don't know what that truth is. This is the misdirection distraction. That's how I truly view the government. I think what really happens is behind closed doors and everything we see is the distraction. I'm a skeptic when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's hard to buy now when it was at 22.50 cents for so long. Yeah, that's true. But these are the decisions that we have to make. Send them to jail. I know, it just got into crypto a few months ago, so I'm paying the price. Well, you're getting an opportunity to learn a lesson and dollar cost average in over time. So if you've, again, not financial advice, everyone needs to make their own decisions. I know you, Raul, like to dollar cost average in as well. So it creates an opportunity to get that price down for when we do get the next pump. And when I say that confidently because the fundamentals have not changed and I diversify. I have XRP, Canton Network, Ondo, HBAR, and Chainlink, as well as copper, silver, gold, like real estate. It's a combination of things. So this, for example, this money that I'm getting in here in the very, very near future, I'm putting a third of it into crypto, which I'll be dollar cost averaging in. A third of it is going into my other real world infrastructure plays. And then a third of it is going into a piece of real estate. Again, I keep the same system. I'm just moving stuff around right now because I had a lot of equity that I could have used and tapped into to create more systems for myself to put myself in a better situation long term. That is the entire long view approach. That's why I'm able to not work a job right now and focus on these things because I've set up those systems and put myself in a great position. Alberto Garcia says market manipulation, bro. Yes, market manipulation, like any other standard market manipulation we see in the stock market and anything else. It's just a lot more volatile in the crypto market. Someone's going to make money on this. Believe it or not, I'm actually making money right now because, as we talked about before in the previous stream, when I called out when we were at the $205 or at the 205 level that I thought we were going to see a pullback down to $1.75, I actually purchased 2 puts on XXRP. So I'm doing very well. I'm up like 60%, I think. So far I'm doing very well on those. I'm about to flip those once we get to that 165 level. I'm going to sell out of those and flip them into XXRP longs. That's what I plan on doing. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research, but that's what I'm doing in my situation. Crypto Roger says, well, my personal advice is to forget about looking for the dips at this point. If you're serious, you need to buy every time you have the money. At any point, you could be priced out. That's true. I agree with you to a certain extent, Crypto Roger, as I say you should dollar cost average in. If you have just to use round numbers, if you have $10,000 to invest, I don't think you should make one purchase at $10,000. I think you should maybe do $2,000 one week, $2,000 the next week, so on and so forth until you go through it. If you want to get into a position, but that's how I do it. Because I cannot stand making a large purchase and then it just drops the next day. I feel like I missed an opportunity. That's just me. But again, the reverse is also true. Sometimes you make a large purchase and it goes the right way for you. That's how I become risk averse with it. A lot of it is truly a sacrifice, but if you make that commitment, you will surprise yourself how well you did, even getting in later than everyone else. I have 6 figures XRP, forget dips, just buy that. I mean, you're talking about the same system essentially. It's just more spread out of buying when you can. It's the same concept of dollar cost averaging in, but just a more long view approach. I also apply it to a more short-term approach when entering into positions. The stream is more about price today because we lost a key support and a lot of people are going to be screaming about price. I wanted to offer a different clarity option to people as they're reviewing the price. So that's kind of the purpose of the stream today. Damien says, what's good, long view? As crazy as it may sound, Jake C is starting to look right. Timing is off, but dominoes are starting to fall. Again, I have said in the past, I would love to be wrong. I do think it can get to super high prices, but I think it's going to take time. I think it's going to take 5 to 10 years for us to see that kind of level of appreciation. But as I've said many, many times in the past, if Jake is right, I will be happy to sit there on my stack of XRP and eat humble pie from my private island. You know what I mean? Abdiel says he just wants his money back. I know a lot of people feel that way, but in the short term of investing, like really what's happening right now is it's so short. Considering I've been doing this, I know Crypto Roger's been doing this for a long, long time. I've been doing this for about 7 years now, messing around in the crypto space. It can be exhausting if you're looking at it daily and you're looking at it in losses like that. That's why I talk about setting yourself up from a position of strength, right? Not having credit card debt, not having overwhelming car payments and things like that. So you can in dollar cost average in consistently with 10% of your paycheck and never have to worry about over leveraging or putting in too much money or any of those things. And that way it becomes a repeatable system that is stress-free. And yeah, when we see number go down, it doesn't feel good and we want our money back. But that mindset is operating from a place of scarcity, not a place of commitment to a structure. Because if you're committed to a structure over the next 5 to 10 years and you have a system, then this should be viewed as a buying opportunity. I see, but I get the frustration. Again, not financial advice to anyone, but that's how I view it because I'm not planning on selling it today. I don't need it today. The investment is for the future. Crypto Roger says, be patient. Don't sell at a loss to buy some beer. Once in a lifetime thing here. Don't F it up. In so many words, I agree with you, Crypto Roger. Resident B says, I'm new to crypto and trying to keep the long view, but looking at the charts, a lot of altcoins are below their 2018 highs. Having bought in last year, it seems a long way to break even. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people got in at a bad time, and a lot of them haven't, right, recapped their 2018 all-time highs. But let me ask you this question. There was a lot of FOMO back then, right? But since 2018, has the outlook for crypto, forget price, has the outlook for crypto and blockchain improved or gotten worse? Has the outlook for crypto and blockchain adoption regionally, United States, worldwide, globally, has it improved or gotten worse? It's gotten better across the board, and it cannot be denied. So when we're talking about what's happening in the market and market structure and FOMO, that's why we talk about the long view. We look at the infrastructure, we look at the systems, we look at the use case. It can be scary. Investing can be scary, but that's why crypto is a third of my portfolio, not all of my portfolio. Okay. So crypto is just a third of it. Now, I believe more in crypto than most people. When you're talking about financial advisors and stuff like that, they're only putting 4%, right? They're only authorized to suggest up to 4% crypto right now, and it's just getting started. But we cannot deny the fact that everything's moving on the blockchain. It's just in the traditional markets and the TradFi markets, it's new. It's finding its place, right? It's finally stepping out of speculation and into real utility and use case and real investment and backing. Talking about BlackRock being behind Digital Asset, the company that is creating Canton Network, not fully behind it, but they're an investor in it, as well as Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan's putting their stable coin on it. That's why we follow all these things, because it is about the long view and not day-to-day price. And when you look back 5 or 10 years from now, you can ask Crypto Roger here in the chat, or you can ask a few others if they want to put their name out there. I see Crypto Roger advocating. But you can, like, when you look back 7 years from now and you start looking at these day-to-day price fluctuations for him, I know he bought it like 19 cents. Do you think it impacts him that much if it's at $2 or $1.75? I'm sure he doesn't like to see the number go down, but he's also seen it go up from 19 cents to this point over the last 7 years. If he gets another run like that over the next 7 years, he's going to be extremely happy, right? So what kind of 19 cents is 20 cents? A 10x, right? 19 cents to $2 essentially. So if he gets another 10x over the next 7 years, which will put him at $20, I know he's looking at 25 to hit his magic number and become a deca millionaire, right? So he's said that many times. That's why I'm using it as an example. But that is the definition of the long view. Crypto Roger's definition of it. Number one thing new people must do is thicken their skin, learn to zoom out for another day, because before you know it, everything will change in your favor. Again, when you build the system, when you do get a pump and you stay consistent, oh God, it feels so good, especially when you get rid of the debt and you get rid of the overhead and you can invest freely. Oh, it feels so good. Take the emotion out of the equation. Absolutely. And he says hit the like button. Yeah, I mean, if you guys are here still and we're talking about, and I'm going to get into a recap and we'll talk more about the price and we'll talk more about entry levels and who knows, even exit levels for some of you. Let me know in the stream where you plan on selling. When number gets to what? Are you going to sell anything? Are you going to keep and borrow against it? But if you get to a number, what's your number? But yeah, hit the like button, share it far and wide. This is a non-hype crypto channel. We are here for the long view. Resident B says, I hear you, Crypto Roger. I am not going anywhere. It's better having assets than having my money doing nothing in a bank. Well, let's think about it. I mean, over the last 5 years, this is facts for you, okay? So over the last 5 years, let's look at XRP. Hang on. As we talk about money sitting in a bank. Okay, let's go to 5 years ago, would have been 2021. So after the 2021 crash, perfect. So let's go after the 2021 crash. We're going to go to weeks. Come on now, not weeks. Let's go to the 4-hour chart or the day chart. Perfect. So where was the 2021 crash? 2024, 2021. So, and then it crashed, blah, 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 blah. Bam. Okay. So if we go back to May 14th of 2022, which was XRP was at 26 cents. So from there, if you would have bought there, so if you got XRP at 26 cents, so you'd be at, I don't know, what, 7x right now? In that same time, since 2020, anyway, the US dollar has depreciated over 25%. So let's be fair. Let's go 2020. 2020. So here we are, September of 2020, XRP was at 21 cents, so it was actually cheaper. So we can call it 20 cents and $2 for easy math. So a 10x since 2020, while the dollar has lost 25% of its value. That's the long view, not the up and down. That is the long view. Right there. If you go back to 2020, XRP, where'd it go? 2020, August 2020, boom, was 21 cents. So basically a 10x. And during that same time, the dollar has depreciated by 25%. That's the long view. That's why we invest in XRP, gold, silver, copper, infrastructure assets for the future that are going to solve a problem, because the dollar is going nowhere but down. It's down 99% since 1913. Facts, figures, numbers, logic, that's what we follow. So let's get back into the chat here, and we will discuss more about the price once I get through the chat. And again, thank all of you for taking your time to be here today. I appreciate every single one of you. Your time is your most valuable asset by far. Yep. Raul says, oh, trust me, I buy when I can, high or low. Good for you. Good for you. I'm just a little fish in the water. Hey, I mean, really, we all are. The fact is, majority of people who hold XRP, the vast majority of real people who hold XRP hold less than 1,000 XRP. Okay? So you hold more than you think. And a lot of those people who hold the big wallets, I mean, most of those are companies, corporations, billionaires, things like that. We have to do our best to get our piece. I'm sure Scott is finishing up on his 1,008 count bodybuilders about now. 200 of them he's doing for me, so I don't have to. Appreciate you, Scott. You know, I do need to get back in shape, man. I do need to get back on the rowing machine again. I was doing so good. I feel like I've gained some weight. My face is getting bigger again. I need to get back in shape again. Let's see here. Sir Charles says, it's exciting watching the markets do this. I mean, it's like a show. Really, I mean, it's entertaining. It is a true roller coaster of entertainment when you're investing. Especially when you get to a position where you can pull your emotions out of it and you can see the forest through the trees from that 30,000 foot view, right? Zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. Let's see. The chat is amazing, guys. I love y'all for this. Let's see here. It helps me to know that Ripple is run by some of the smartest people in the industry. I don't have to do anything but wait. It will happen. I mean, I'm looking forward to February 3rd with the Ondo Summit and February 11th with the Community Day. I'll be, whatever's going on February 11th live stream, by the way. I'm going to be streaming the entire thing. I don't know how long it is. We'll sit here, I'll commentate, but I'm going to let them do most talking. We can all watch it together and enjoy it. But I will be streaming the Community Day live, the entire thing. Roger and I are just waiting on you to start. Oh, when you guys were chatting up. The Truman Show is real. Is it? You know, I was thinking about doing something like that too, by the way. I am starting a second channel for those of my regular members. By the way, memberships are available. If you are not a member yet, that is available to you. You do get the weekly live stream. And I was actually talking in my weekly members live stream last time about the fact I'm going to start a second channel just for fun. If you guys want to hang out, it'll be honestly me just streaming and gaming what I do in my spare time. So I'll be there if people want to talk or ask questions. I'll let you guys know when that, well, the channel is actually live, but I haven't started doing anything with it yet. So I am going to be doing a second channel with streaming just for fun. So you guys will be welcome to join that. But it'll be me gaming if you're interested in that. So yeah, the Truman Show is real. I'm turning my life into a little Truman Show just about. Owned by my kitty. Can you please address the FUD tweeted by David Schwartz yesterday, along with Lewis Jackson's videos over the last month and a half? And this, many of the communities are losing faith in XRP. The FUD tweeted by David Schwartz yesterday. Are you referring to his comments about XRP not going to $100? Is that the FUD you're referring to? I did see that tweet. I actually have an article in that tweet that I covered. Lewis Jackson's videos. I don't watch Lewis Jackson. Believe it or not, I don't watch a lot of other people's videos. I do my own research. I did see a tweet from David Schwartz saying that he doesn't think it's going to go to $50 or $100. But I think that's realistic. I don't think people are going to see $50 or $100 this year. So maybe there's a tweet that I didn't see. I do follow David Schwartz. Here, let's take a look. Let me get back to that screen, because I do follow him. I tweet at him all the time. And again, you can follow me on X. It's at Longview Crypto. I see David Joelcat Schwartz, fake one, but he followed me. Let me go home here, and I will find. I actually didn't see a FUD warning. I actually saw David Schwartz tweet out some bullish information. Right here, when XRP was at 6 cents, price of 25 felt about as ridiculous as $100 does today. We had a 25-cent party and joked about how $1 was impossible, it seemed. I don't think that's FUD. Not saying it's unlikely. He's saying it's unlikely it'll go to a $50 or $100. What are you holding for? Like, people are just mad. Okay, and again, I think this comes to the unrealistic promises of some of the people in the community. But I do think he's not saying it will never go to $50 or $100, but it's not going to go to $50 or $100 today. This is being taken out of context. He was saying he didn't feel comfortable saying it was going to go to $100, and he doesn't feel comfortable saying it's not going to go to $100. I think this is really being taken out of context. And if you want to take it a step further, let me pull this up here. He tweeted this out, by the way, going through his stuff on January 28th. He tweeted out a piece of moon rock. Okay. This was the same day. That was the day before the ledger spiked to 1.6 million payment transactions. Like, so you can call out FUD, you can call out you can create whatever narrative you want to create. That's why it's important to do your own research. A lot of people are playing different angles, and right now, FUD gets clicks. Okay? Sky is falling, Chicken Little. FUD gets clicks because people are scared. Fear gets clicks. Hopium gets clicks. That's why people are usually on one side of the coin or the other. They're not going to sit here and talk to you about dollar cost averaging in over time because it's boring and it doesn't get clicks. But when people 10 years from now sit there with money in their pocket, they're going to know boring works. Okay, more people get wrecked quick than they get rich quick in crypto by far. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox. But so yeah, I think a lot of it's misinformation and narrative building than it is actually true analysis. Just treat XRP like silver or gold. Dollar cost average in over time. It should be a 5. If you're investing in an asset, if you're investing in any asset, my opinion, not financial advice, but if you're investing in any asset, unless you're day trading specifically, or you are, swing trading specifically, unless you're day trading or swing trading specifically, you should have done research in the project and the product for investment in the long term. And expecting a lot of people, some people got rich quick in crypto, so it created this narrative that there's these 10,000 and 20,000% returns because a few people got rich. Okay, that is not the norm. Okay, My opinion, not financial advice. I do think we can appreciate to prices like $100 and $1,000 over the next 10 years, but I don't think we're going to see $100 this year. Is it possible? Sure. I kind of said the same thing David Schwartz said. I tend to agree with him. I don't really consider that to be FUD. That's just investing. To me, that's investing, I suppose. Crypto Roger said, I would remind you to be careful who you lend your ear to. Excellent point as well, Crypto Roger. People are wanting clips and clicks. What is the reward to them watching to them? What is the reward to them of you watching their video? When you watch their video, they get rewarded. And when you watch their video, you get rewarded with dopamine, or fear, or some kind of emotional pull. Give the bread and circuses and they will never revolt. The clowns and puppets play their roles perfectly. Owned by making my entire portfolio is down 40% since October 10th and seems never ending. Well, I mean, October 10th was literally the biggest liquidation in crypto history. So that was a very, very unfortunate time. But to give you guys maybe some hope, not some hopium, but to give you some hope, I got into crypto in 2019, had a very, very large stack, ran up to over $250,000. It was about 225 because I sold some of my Solana, okay? But my crypto stack ran up to over $225,000 in 2021. I didn't sell any of it except for $40,000 worth of Solana at that time and watched it go all the way down to the prices that happened in 2022, right? And then I got hit with a divorce and had to liquidate everything at a loss. So I have felt that pain. I wanted to do it for the long view. If I would have never had to liquidate those things and would be sitting with it right now as I continued to dollar cost average in, $5 might be all I need for XRP to hit for me to get to the level of retirement I want. You know what I'm saying? But I've had to start over. Those are the lessons that we learn, right? Investing is a journey. It truly never stops because when you get to the end of the investment journey, then it becomes about maintaining it and making the money work for you, right? The journey doesn't end, it just changes, right? Let's see. Jake C is full of it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone's got an opinion, and most of them stink. Every once in a while, you find a clean opinion. I want to know if Claver paid the $1 million since he lost the bet. I mean, did we ever know who he publicly made a bet to? I mean, that could be good content if there was no real bet. I mean, I could make a bet with Crypto Roger and say I have $1 million bet and use that to create content. I mean, that's something that can be done. I'm not saying that's what he did, but we don't know if that's ever honored, but it sounds good on video, right? DCA is the way. I'll get that's a great shirt. That's something like that. This is the way. Like I need to have a Mandalorian shirt with "This is the way" and have the Longview Compute emblem. I'm working on some merch designs. I don't know if the store has merged into the channel yet. It should be soon. I just have one basic one up there right now, but merch is coming as well. Memberships are there, merch is there, super chats are coming. This is actually turning into a real YouTube channel, guys. Let's grow it out. Janie Doe says, I bought more. Good for you. Again, dollar cost average in, not financial advice. We are here for the long view. I can't wait to see this same group of people 5 years from now, maybe even 10 years from now, as we continue to grow out the channel. And I want to see these same names 10 years from now and see where they're at in their investing journey and in their life. It's exciting to me. I feel honestly connecting with you all is more exciting to me than the news and the content half the time. I just love the community element of it, man. Claver is suing Rector. Yeah, to pay off his debt. That's a good one. Spiro Man says, I first got an XRP in 2021, had to wait 3 years to see nothing, but it's worth the wait. That's a hell of a hold, Spiro Man. Oh my goodness. That's good for you. That takes some faith and some strength to hold through that storm, man. Conquistador Offshore, why is now riding exactly what gold is doing and wasn't pumping when it was rallied earlier? Why is now riding exactly what gold is doing? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not understanding. Stephen Haynes says, my XRP and HBAR are getting rinsed, but CC is holding up my 3 pillars. There you go. Yeah, CC is holding up my investments right now as well. I got into that just in the nick of time, but CC is fantastic. I've been having a lot of luck with it. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research, but it's something I've become a lot more passionate about is Canton Network. Farm Maximus. This is the best time to double down when FUD is contagious. The flow of liquidity will make its way back into crypto eventually. The use case of XRP makes sense for me to invest in, and that's what it's about. Okay, you believe in your investment. Then when money goes down or when price goes down and fundamentals have not changed, that's a buying opportunity, right? When everyone else is selling is usually a time to be buying. When everyone else is buying usually is a time to be selling. These are standard 101, but it goes completely against our emotions as a human being. You know what I'm saying? Janie Doe says, I'm doing flare at a penny. Okay. Raul starting his CC pillar. Traditionally, gold and silver have been the most manipulated commodities of all. It's often hard to find logic with regard to prices. That's right. Unless you zoom out from a larger lens, right? That's when the patterns start becoming really noticeable and the logic makes sense, because the day-to-day noise just, it's noise. Exactly what it is. That's when you have to zoom out and take a long view perspective. That's the goal. I love it. You guys, the chat is amazing. How many people do we even have in the stream? I haven't even paying attention. 49 people in the stream. Welcome all the new people. I appreciate you all. Let's keep it going. Hit the like button, smash subscribe, share it far and wide. We cover XRP and other cryptos. This is a great time to talk about the pillars, actually. Since we just had Raul talking about a new pillar for him, let's talk about the pillars. So Raul's talking about starting his CC pillar, the Canton Network. So I am about the infrastructure build out for cryptocurrency, and not just for cryptocurrency, but for all of my investments. Physical infrastructure, solving problems in the future, right? What is going to be a problem in the future? I think power is going to be a problem in the future. So I'm heavily invested in alternative energy. I believe that the data centers are going to start producing a lot of value. So I've been looking into, not yet, but going to, and I'll let you guys know when I have the information on it. But I've been looking into buying REITs for AI data centers, as well as I hold copper, silver, and gold. And my 5 pillars of crypto infrastructure, right, of the tokenized financial ecosystem. My 5 pillars are XRP, Canton Network, Ondo, HBAR, and Chainlink. Those are the 5 that I invest in, dollar cost average in, consistently every single month, as I have the income. Now, a lot of you know I've been on short-term disability, so my purchasing has had to go on hold. But now that I have capital again, I will be continuing my dollar cost averaging. Not financial advice, but it's the system I use, and it's been able to benefit me to get me to a point where I no longer have to work a day job, and I can do this with you guys every single day. And I hope to help you build systems to have that same level of freedom. Because I don't know if you can see it in the background, if you see the little bobblehead, okay? So when you work for a corporation for 10 years and make them millions and millions of dollars, this is what you get. You get a bobblehead, okay? And then they say, thank you for your service. You're on disability. We don't need you anymore. You're fired. You need to have systems in place so when that happens, if that happens, because it can happen to anyone, and it's stressful to have that hanging over your head. It is. So that can happen to you. It is a possibility. And having systems in place where you have other income being generated to where you're not reliant on one job puts you in a position of power to where this time I didn't have to liquidate everything. And I was able to not work for 7-8 months until I got it figured out, right? Not financial advice, but that's what I'm hoping to create for a lot of you, is just some peace of mind with your investment instead of the pump and dump roller coaster hype train crap that YouTube has taught everybody, because those systems don't work. They make people broke. Broke people make broke people decisions, okay? Wealthy people make wealthy decisions. Wealth is a mindset. Thank you for the like, Spearman. I appreciate you. Brad Dixon says he is never selling. I am a buy and die kind of guy when it comes to my XRP. I believe once it gets to a price that I'm comfortable with, I'll borrow against it about 20%. No more than 20% because I do not want to be liquidated. Spearman says he's selling a little at $10 to $30. Okay. And again, there's nothing wrong with that too. I would tell anyone right now to sell any crypto you have and pay off credit card debt if you have it. Not financial advice, obviously, but that would be my recommendation, right? We don't want to hold all that extra stuff. We just don't. And if you hear my dogs barking in the background, someone must have went by the front of the house. So I apologize for that. 9 to 10 years just passed so fast. Another 10 years will go quickly enough. We're looking good 10 years from now. I know I was speaking with Charles not too long ago. I'm not going to give too much information, but he is on the path to be able to walk away from a job and retire in less than 10 years and have his time back and have his freedom back by exercising the long view. And I love it. I love hearing that stuff, man. Crypto Roger, Sir Charles, you guys are awesome. Janie Doe says, I'm selling a little at 10. Okay. Crypto Roger says, yeah, I got 100K flare at a penny just in case. All right. Owned by my kitty, Raul. What price did you get CC at? I want to buy. It's at 17 cents now. I'll say this as far as what I'm not going to answer for Raul, but I'll say this as far as what I'm thinking when I buy Canton Network. I am not looking for an entry point. I'm just buying it. And the reason I say that, again, not financial advice, I'm not looking for entry points on it. I'm just accumulating when I can because it's not moving with Bitcoin and the rest of crypto. And it hasn't for the entire month. So it's kind of hard to gauge what it's going to do. My opinion, not financial advice. But that's just what I believe. You guys are doing awesome. Chat is fantastic today. You guys are amazing. Pat yourselves on the back. Hit the like button, share it far and wide. Let's grow the stream, the no hype, and grow the long view far and wide. Far Maximus I will never sell. I will borrow against to depreciating assets. Absolutely, depreciation, sell and buy. Okay. Well, see, if I do sell anything, I'm not against selling crypto. If you do sell it, I suggest creating cash flow assets so you can continuously reinvest and continuously build. If you sell it, it should be to invest in something else that's going to make you money, right? My opinion, not financial advice. Bro, just started today at 17 cents. Janie Doe bought XRP at 320 FOMO. Yeah, that sucks, but it's all right. We're here for the long view. Just dollar cost average in. You buy some right now, it brings your total average to, somewhere in the twos. And it becomes a little less painful that way. Raul says, I'm at 218 overall cost. Okay. Believe it or not, as it sits right now, mine is at $1.76. So I'm teetering on break even right now with mine, with my XRP. So I'm right there with y'all, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm looking to buy more. Let's see, Spearman. So I can see why people are frustrated, especially after seeing no gains in anything for years. It sucks. Yeah, it does suck. But we had such an anti-crypto administration for the last 4 years. So it's kind of really hard to look at 2022 to 2026, or from 2022 to 2025. And we're just now getting all the pro-crypto stuff in 2025. It's really hard to look at. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so anti-crypto. Crypto couldn't do anything. We're just now getting some push behind it. Some tailwinds. We're fighting against headwinds over those years as well. So there was FOMO when Trump went in and we got all the tailwinds. Everyone's like, woo, crypto. Well, it doesn't happen that fast. That's why I always say we need to get the Clarity Act done so that everything that's been done doesn't change under a new administration. Because in order for these companies to put in trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, they need to know it's not going to go away with a new administration, because everything that's been done to this point can be undone. Facts. Scale this how you want, but my intention is to cash out 5 million, 1 million for taxes, leaves me 4 million to buy the farm, furniture, cars, leaving 40 to 60% of my bag for tax or future growth. That sounds fantastic. You're going to be very comfortable. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Now, I will say this. I do disagree on one thing. In my opinion, I don't think you should pay off a home. I don't think you should pay off a home. Get a cheap mortgage and pay the mortgage and let the money continue to work for you. Because a mortgage is like 3, 4, 5% tops if you have decent credit right now. You're going to make better. You can easily make better returns in the stock market than that. I'd rather keep my money and just pay monthly, but that's me. Things like that I look at, and then, creating ways to keep some of that tax money in your pocket, etc. But you're familiar with all that stuff, Crypto Roger. Scott, you know how much XRP I have, and I don't think I have much. You have more than most people, Raul. How about that? I would say you're in the top. I would say you are in the top 30% of real people holding XRP. Truthfully, I would say you're in the top 30%. You're not as far off as you might think. Jane Doe, with all my heart, I believe XRP will Bitcoin me one day. Hey, I hope so too. Gunpowder says XRP is pumping. Define pumping. Let's see. What's XRP doing? I'll get back to it. Let's take a look-see. XRP. It's up to $1.78 right now. Again, okay, so when we talk about the levels, it needs to push through. This is acting as resistance right now. The $1.77, $1.78 line that we were talking about is acting as resistance right now. Not a good thing. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Let's see, 1 hour. I forgot I was on the 1 day chart. There it is. So if we go here, yes, it dropped. See, okay, we're consolidating. All right, so here's exactly what's happening. So it dropped all the way down to the 170 level that we called out over here, tapped off of it, came back, shot up to the 178 resistance level. It's deciding which way it's going to go right now. Is it going to push past 178 and try to continue on to 185 and beyond? Or is it going to bounce off this, come back and retest $1.70 again? So right now it's indecision. I wouldn't say it's pumping. Again, it's not pumping. It's not actually truly bullish until it gets past 185 with some volume. That would be a real trend reversal. If it goes up to $1.85 and then comes back down, that's a pump fake essentially. And again, right now it's testing that 178 resistance. We need to break through that first before we can even mess with that. So I wouldn't say it's pumping right now, unfortunately. Crypto Roger seems like a real solid plan. Absolutely agree. Raul says, I was hoping silver would be higher, but it dropped today. I'm ready to start building my shop. Well, so silver and gold dropped because a lot of people were pumping into it because they thought the government was going to shut down, and then that ended up not happening, right? Came through last night that there will not be a government shutdown, so that tends to cause gold and silver to fall. We don't need to hedge as much. But all in all, it's scary with gold and silver shooting up this high, but if they start pumping liquidity in, assets will follow. Spearman says XRP is digital metal. It's infrastructure. Yeah, I agree with that. What do metals do? They move slowly. You're absolutely right, Spearman. I completely agree with you. Crypto says, I also think you can hold on a little long. If you can hold on a little longer, the IRS will be handicapped, if not ended, thanks to Trump. With Germany going no tax, crypto. Don't forget Sweden also went no tax. And I tweeted out another one yesterday that I saw went no tax on crypto as well. So yeah, it looks like the global adoption of crypto is moving forward with full steam. So when the price is going up now, I don't care if the price is going up and down. It's a buying opportunity to me because it's only moving forward over the next 10 years, in my opinion. I mean, do we really see a scenario where blockchain goes away over the next 10 years? I mean, they're already tokenizing stocks with Ondo and Solana. I mean, it's happening. It's beginning to happen at scale in our own US government. We don't even have the Clarity Act yet. Once we start getting, remember, payments and billing and all that stuff moves a heck of a lot slower because the banks don't want to let go of that money. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for 10 years. All right. 54 people in the stream whenever this was said. I don't know where there is now, but I appreciate every single one of you for taking your time to be here. If you're new to the stream, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share it far and wide. We do daily content, news, price tracking, ETF tracking, discussions about the long view. This is a crypto channel about the next 1, 5, 10 years, not about making you rich tomorrow. Okay. How many likes can you see? I just see mine. 1. I don't see any likes. I can't see it right now. I only have 2 monitors and I can't view everything. Keep in mind, David comment was on speculation only, not accounting on ETFs or utility. Okay. Janie Doe says divorce is the worst. Well, I mean, no one ever enters into a marriage and plans to get divorced. But long story short, drama aside, we got married young, and 20 years later, we want different things in life. That's really all there is to it. We want different things in life. Crypto Roger, he said something about a moon rock. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, he actually went, so David Schwartz went in there and said that he pulled out a picture of his moon rock, said, oh, I found this. I was just looking at it, and it was the day before the payment spike. Literally like the night before the payment spike. I thought it was interesting. And that's why I was saying you can create whatever narrative you want to create. He did pay it, and it was not 1 million. Okay. The bet was with scams, and scams verified that the bet was paid. Okay. Well, there you go. I don't know. BBAI, start gambling it now on the low. It will soon be a runner. Okay. XRP. February 1st. All right. Is this another pump and dump? Is this another pump and dump? CMGH. Haven't seen you in a hot minute there. No, this isn't another pump and dump. This is a buying opportunity for me. Jane Doe, I chased the knife and caught it by the handle. Good for you. Conquistador, why is the crypto market going along the gold chart exactly now and earlier this week wasn't trending alongside gold? Right now, you know, how do I put this? There's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty right now. And quite frankly, the pullback in gold and silver is more due to the fact that gold and silver just aren't supposed to run 80% in a month. That is, remember, we literally just were talking about a comment, metals move slow. So this is a serious amount of FOMO. I have been talking about not wanting to buy at the top and thought they were going to pull back. My opinion, not financial advice, but yeah, it's gross. So I think we're looking at setting a new low or a new lower low essentially around the 165 level with XRP. But there's the reason the market is moving. Well, the crypto market follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin crashed because of massive liquidations by BlackRock, Binance, Coinbase, and many, many others. Okay. Remember that the crypto market's extremely volatile. If there's large sales of Bitcoin, and we're talking billions worth, then it's going to plummet the price of Bitcoin and everything else is going to follow. And it creates a cascade effect of people getting liquidated with margin, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why Bitcoin's falling today and gold is falling because of the government not being shut down, right? It's going to remain open. My opinion, not financial advice. Crypto Arts, I haven't used credit 10 to 15 years at this point. My credit won't help me get a loan. That's why I'd rather buy. Okay, well, that's fine. Everyone has their own reason. Just like for me, I'd rather use that money to continue making more money, right? Let the bank spend it. Janie Doe says, we are early. I completely agree. Raul says, I don't use credit cards. Well, I use credit cards, and the only reason I use credit cards, I pay them off every single month, okay? I use a credit card for 2% cash back, and I use it to pay my bills, groceries, gas, all that stuff. And at the end of the month, I pay it off. I get my 2% cash back, and I don't get hit with any interest. And I don't have to hold cash that way. I can hold it in other assets like gold, silver, and then I can sell it or transfer it, or I can hold it in stablecoin and get stablecoin yield. I don't like to hold cash. I really don't like cash. I literally only have probably about $2,000 on hand for cash at any given time. Really. Now I have liquid assets that I can get access to if I need to do something with it. But I just put it on my credit card and pay it off. That's how I work it. Anyway, I just bought more $1.71 cost average in. Good for you, CMJ. Oh my gosh, we made it to the bottom of the chat. How many people we got left in here? 47 in here still. Okay, let's roll into a recap. Keep the chat going. We are going to continue. Let's see. Let's get into a recap, see what's going on with price. Let me get into the correct screen for everyone here. Boom. Boom shakalaka. All right. So price again is tapping at $1.78. What we are wanting to see, again, we want to see us push through here. We're above EMA 9, but we want to see it. This has turned into a resistance now, and that is not a good thing. So if we don't push through resistance, it is going to fall. I hate to say it. And it's going to fall back to the $1.70 level where it's testing again. So we're going to have some choppage here. That's what we're going to watch for the next probably day or so through the weekend. Weekends can be volatile, especially after new levels are set like this. Just something to keep in mind for everyone. It's man, it's hard to say what exactly is going to happen because at least the government's not shutting down, but until we clear this, I don't feel good. And this volume right here, when it tried to push through the $1.78 level before, and we had this massive amount of volume and it didn't make it through, that concerns me. And then it came back and tapped. If we don't make it through this time and we don't have any volume really trying to push it through, I'm afraid it's going to go lower. So I think there's going to be more buying opportunities. And as you can see, my puts are doing very well for me today. When we hit 160, I'm going to sell these and flip them into longs. But that's what I'm looking at right now. 165, I plan on selling these and flipping them into calls because I think we're going to run up after another bounce off of 165. But that's just me, not financial advice. The entire crypto market is down today. Well, we're getting some stuff going up right now. And again, Canton Network doing its own thing. I hold Canton Network, I hold Ondo, I hold Chainlink, I hold HBAR, and of course I hold XRP, and I have a little bit of Flare, XLM, Algorand, Avalanche. I have a little bit of other dart throws out there, but my core 5 are the infrastructure pillars that I just discussed at the beginning. We talked about the XRP ledger. We follow actual XRP ledger activity on this channel if you're new to the stream because it is important. We have been talking about the account set activity over the last 3 months being more than the entire history of the ledger. And now we're starting to see that transition into payments activity, seeing a spike up to 1.6 million. We want to see this continue beyond 2 million. I will continue tracking it every day, just like I always do. If Bitcoin fooled everyone, could $100 XRP be next? Ripple's David Schwartz weighs in. He went on to say, right here, Schwartz explained the crypto markets have a long history of surprising everyone. He reminded users that he once believed XRP reaching 25 cents was unlikely. He even sold some of his own XRP at 10 cents because it felt insane to him at the time. He also recalled how Bitcoin hitting $100 also once seemed impossible. His point was simple. Predicting prices with certainty has failed again and again in crypto. So when everyone's trying to give you price predictions, no one really knows. Okay? That's why it's important to do your own research, especially in crypto. No one really knows what's going to happen with these prices. You may watch a stream and someone might get lucky. Now, I don't want to say that. Someone might catch the right narrative, okay? Someone might do the research, but more often than not, when you're looking at videos on YouTube, it's people without conviction, unfortunately. You can tell who's authentic and who's not when you watch them, I think. I feel like I can, at least I think I can. However, Swartz added it's important for a reality check. He said that if a large number of rational investors truly believe there is even a 10% chance of XRP reaching $100 within a few years, they would not be selling XRP at today's prices. Instead, they would be aggressively buying, quickly pushing the price much higher. So there's some logic for you. People don't like logic, but that is his opinion. That's from David Swartz. Rumors of Trump suing the IRS, but he also named Kevin Warsh as his pick for Fed chair. This is a semi-pro crypto Fed chair. However, he is traditionally hawkish, but he agrees with Trump. There should be less Fed oversight in the market. So we'll see how this plays out over the next 6 months. He won't actually take the position until May. Now, why did things crash today? Bitcoin liquidations, 7.4% over 24 hours, hitting 82,000 before a slight Friday morning recovery. Again, Binance sold, BlackRock ETF sold, Coinbase sold. Billions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin was dumped at the same time by major players. That is what caused this cascade effect. My opinion, not financial advice, but that's why we are here about building for the long view with infrastructure from a place of strength. Let's hop back into the chat though. Janie Doe says, I traded my fractional Bitcoin for XRP when it started crashing and bought XRP. I own XRP, but I don't think I'll ever own a Bitcoin. Well, never say never. Who knows? XRP could skyrocket and Bitcoin could crash. I mean, these are distinct possibilities. People don't like to talk about them, but it's also possible for it to go the other way too. But that's why we do our research, position for the long view with conviction. Crypto Raj said, also, I'm old. Don't want the headache of monthly payments. I know the headache of monthly payments is so difficult when you get your VA disability check. You can set up an automatic payment for it to come out at the same time, Roger. Raul says, I'm too old, want to retire in 10 years. It's possible. You can certainly do it. It takes a lot of hard work and sacrifice, but it is possible. I managed to find myself to this point in 7 years. So it is very possible to do. Depends on what your definition of retirement is. Just want to retire and work on my cars in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Well, I mean, it's very possible for you to do it if you build the correct systems and build the assets and the cash flow that might be actually available sooner than you think. He says, I wish I would have gotten more gold and silver 8 years ago. Don't we all? Don't we all, my friend? Excuse me. I need a drink real quick, man. We're going on an hour and 13 minutes now without a drink. I could have been like Roger. I don't go to sleep. I could have been like Roger. Don't go to sleep on my Roger. Could you imagine if you bought $3 million property, how much the monthly payment would be? Scary. That's like having a heart attack every month. I'd prefer to pay it off at closing. Hey, whatever works for you. And again, you're setting everyone has their own piece, right? That piece is valuable to you. I don't view it the same way, but that's not my decision. I mean, whatever is going to bring you peace and confidence going forward when you do decide to retire, and if that's having it paid off, great. I mean, it's still going to be appreciating and everything. But you say, like my mind though, when you say having a $3 million property, I'd rather have a $3 million property that I owe about 2.5 million on, and I have 500,000 equity, and yeah, I have to pay a payment on 2.5 million, but then if you invest 2.5 million, you should be able to make 8 or 9% a year with that. So you're actually making an additional 4% by having the money out of the actual house and letting the bank put the money there. But I mean, that's my opinion on it, but everyone's got their own way. So I plan on actually buying another house here, hopefully next year once the VA disability stuff goes through and I get the back pay, then I'll jump in and buy another house, which should give it time. I actually might end up timing all of this perfectly. If the market booms like they're talking about with quantitative easing and everything, if the market booms and I can turn around and get some more money on my investments now, which the housing market is actually coming down right now. So if the market booms and my investments go up, housing market comes down, and then 2 years from now I get my back pay from the VA disability and I turn around and buy another house, I'm in a pretty good position. But that's just me. That's what I'm doing. Let's see. But that's it for today, guys. I've gone through the chat twice. I've gone through the recap twice. We've covered everything. I've talked to you about the different levels. Again, we're here for the long view. We're not here for what necessarily the price is today or tomorrow. We're here for what it's going to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, to create real wealth for you and your family so you can have a place of peace. We stream every single day, Monday through Saturday at noon. Join me on the next one, all right? Later.